William Morrow and HarperAudio present The Unheard, a Novel, by Nicci French. Performed by Olivia Vinall.
Chapter 1. People say you can't die in your dreams. But last night I felt I was going to die. I was falling, like she fell. And it was just before I hit the concrete, dark rushing up at me, that I woke, gasping, sweating. I hadn't got away. It was happening again. I tried to think of a smooth sea, of a blue sky, of a forest with the wind gently stirring the leaves. It didn't work. I was awake, but I was still in the dream. I was back where it all began. I was sitting in the window seat of a cafe off Broadway Market. I was early, and so I saw Jason and Poppy before they saw me. For a brief moment, it was as if nothing had changed. Poppy was riding on Jason's shoulders, clutching his ears, her mouth open in precarious joy, her glorious red hair like a banner in the soft breeze, the father with his little daughter, walking down the street towards the waiting mother. Even at that moment, even though I had come here straight from being with Aidan and had walked to the cafe in the glorious May warmth feeling alive with hope and desire and excitement and a sense of life unfurling, I felt a ripple of sadness. Poppy was so small, so vulnerable and trusting. And Jason and me, we'd done this to her, split her world in half. But we would make it better, together. I watched as they drew closer. Jason was holding Poppy's legs so that she was steady, and he looked like he was singing. He had a nice voice. He always used to sing loudly in the shower. He probably still did. As they passed the window, he saw me and gave that familiar, funny half smile, as if there was a shared joke between us, like in the early days. He put Poppy's little overnight bag on the pavement so that he could lift her up and off and down to the ground. Poppy pointed excitedly at me, then put her face to the window, her nose squashing against the glass and her breath misting it. "Mummy," she was saying soundlessly. I stood up and met her at the door and hugged her, and she pressed her face into my shoulder. She smelled like sawdust and sap. I'd assumed Jason would leave immediately, but he ordered coffee for himself and a hot chocolate for Poppy, and we all sat down at the table. Poppy wriggled onto my lap, and I looked at Jason a little uneasily. I was always anxious to avoid any competition for her affection, but he just smiled. He was still good-looking. There were grey flecks in his neatly trimmed beard. He was bulkier. He was a grown-up now, a headmaster. He had status, but I could see the young man I'd fallen for, the young man who'd fallen for me. I had a sudden vivid memory of that first evening all those years ago. It had happened so quickly, right at a time when I was thinking I never wanted to get involved with another man ever again. I was emerging from a spectacularly distressing breakup. My boyfriend of 7 years, my first real love, had gone off with a close friend, someone I'd known for most of my life. I lost them both. Even the past I shared with them was wrecked by lies. It had left me a frail, raw, sore, pulpy mess of a human being. But on a spring day like today, full of blossom and fresh green leaves, my friend Gina had persuaded me to go to a party with her. She said it would do me good, and wouldn't take no for an answer. She stood over me while I put on a dress that looked more like a sack, and brushed my long red hair, and refused to wear makeup. Jason was there, tall and rangy, with grey eyes, a cleft in his then beardless chin, and a faded blue cotton shirt. I could still remember how he looked at me and didn't look away. We got talking, we danced together, and I felt the heat of his body. I suddenly thought, so my life isn't ruined after all. So I'm still desirable, and I can still feel desire. So my boyfriend was a scumbag and my girlfriend crap, but I can still laugh and dance and have sex and feel life rippling through me. I can begin again. We'd gone on to a bar in Camden High Street. I remember I had a tequila and my head swam.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?